بر محمد و آل محمد صلوات. یہ سوچتا ہوں کہ عابد کا حال کیا ہوگا. یہ سوچتا ہوں کہ عابد کا حال کیا ہوگا. اسیر ہو کہ وہ جب شام میں گیا ہوگا. اسیر ہو کہ وہ جب شام میں گیا ہوگا. سنا ہے شام میں جاتے ہی خون رونے لگا. سنا ہے شام میں جاتے ہی خون رونے لگا. نہ جانے شمر نے اس وقت کیا کہا ہوگا. نہ جانے شمر نے اس وقت کیا کہا ہوگا. گلے کے توک نے عابد کو کیا جھکانا تھا. گلے کے توک نے عابد کو کیا جھکانا تھا. وہ اپنے کھوئے ہوئے لال ڈھونڈتا ہوگا. وہ اپنے کھوئے ہوئے لال ڈھونڈتا ہوگا. وہ ظلم دیکھے سجاد نے حسین کے بعد. وہ ظلم دیکھے سجاد نے حسین کے بعد. مجھے یقین ہے کہ اب تک بھی رو رہا ہوگا. مجھے یقین ہے کہ اب تک بھی رو رہا ہوگا. جو غور کیجئے تو عابد بشر نہیں لگتا. جو غور کیجئے تو عابد بشر نہیں لگتا. میرے خیال میں دکھ درد کا خدا ہوگا. میرے خیال میں دکھ درد کا खुदा होगा। ये सोचता हूँ कि आबिद का हाल क्या होगा। मोहम्मद सल्लल्लाहु
Auzubillahi minash-shaytanir-rajim. Bismillahir-rahmanir-rahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin wassalatu wassalamu ala khatimin nabiyyin wa alihi tahirin. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Dear brothers and sisters, assalamu alaikum. We are in the month of Jamadiul Akhir or Jamadiul Sani, the second uh, part of the Jamadi. Although not very much advertised, but these are the months where we remember a lot of ladies. We just heard very fantastic speeches, and we obviously reflected on the Quranic verses where we talked about the role models of Bibi Maryam, Bibi Asiya, and then we moved on obviously to Sayyidatina Nisa al-Alameen. Muhammad. And today we are going to reflect on, because tomorrow will be the day of 12th of Jamadiul Akhir, which is famously known as the demise anniversary of Bibi Ummul Baneen Salamullah Alaiha. Bibi Ummul Baneen, wife of Amirul Mu'mineen, mother of Abbas, Amr Bani Hashim. There is a famous couplet in Urdu which says, and I'll translate in a second, चलो सलाम करें ऐसे आस्ताने को, चलो सलाम करें ऐसे आस्ताने को, हुसैन पाल कर जिसने दिया ज़माने को. Let's go and pay our salutation to that household who basically brought up and gave the world, the whole of the universe, a person like Hussein. Let's actually not stop at Hussein and extend it to somebody like Abbas. Because I tell you, ask you one question. MashaAllah, we all read Quran, we read Ahadith. But what are the function of these people for us? What can we take from them? I think there's a simple thing. If you look at Surah Ahzab, verse 8, translation, he may ask the loyal for their loyalty, and he has proposed a painful doom for the unfaithful. He, meaning Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he may ask for the loyal for their loyalties. So what's the point? We look at these sort of conjectures, we look at these sort of concepts which are talking about the loyalty. Who are the role models? Where do we pick them from? And when we come to these holy personalities, these fantastic personalities, who basically ingrained the concept of loyalty into Abbas, the loyalty for Amirul Mu'mineen, loyalty for Hassan, and loyalty for Hussein, that has got to be nobody other than Ummul Baneen. And you have to consider that. So today I'm going to take a few minutes to talk about the life history of Ummul Baneen and her role in the Ahl Bayt. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Muhammad. When you look at a spiritual hero like Abbas, so much so, I come from Pakistan, as you know, from Pakistani culture, sometimes almost like a mythological character, the warrior, the brave Abbas. And when we talk about him, we go back to the history before even he is born. It is famously said that when Bibi Fatima, Salamullah Alaiha, Salawat, Muhammad, when he passed away, when she passed away, obviously there were a few more ladies Imam Ali went on to marry, like for example Asma bint Umays, who was the next, who was a very close friend of Sayyidati Nisa al-Alameen, and he married her. But as the time went on, we need to remember the world was getting worse and worse for Imam al-Mu'mineen. And sometimes I hear in the majalis, and I will challenge ourselves on this as well, that when Imam Ali went on to marry Ummul Baneen comes to the house, and Hassan and Hussein were little children. It's very hard to accept that actually, because you have to remember what was the age of Imam Hazrat the Mawla Abbas in Karbala. Can somebody remind me? Okay, 35, 34, 32. So in early 30s, let's put it that way, right? So if we are thinking that Karbala happened in 61 after Hijrah, minus 34 years, that will be like 26, 27 after Hijrah. I think this is something which we forget. This is a very important thing. So who is the caliph of the time at this time? Usman ibn Affan. That's it. And who is the governor of Sham at this time? Muawiyah. And this is what Ali is seeing. This is where the world is leading towards. Walid ibn Uqba in Kufa, Saad ibn As in Makkah, all of the Umayyads basically just sucking the spirit, the soul of Islam out. How could Ali let go of that? So this is the time, very logically, that would be the time he would turn to Aqil and said, Aqil, you are an expert on genealogy. Can you find a family for me, a clan for me, from where I will have a son? Because the calamities are going to fall on my sons. My son Hussein, definitely. And I need somebody. Obviously, he had all the prophecies done told to him by Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. But now the time is getting serious. Can you even look into the heart of Imam Ali, what he's going through? He's looking at his sons that actually, even if Muawiyah, I will be able to control him, what happens afterwards? The Banu Umayyads are coming. So he asks Ali, can you find me a clan so that I can marry there, which we know has got a nobility and fame and familiarity for their bravery. This is what I need. Aqil proposes a tribe of Banu Kalab. Banu Kalab is a tribe which lives in the western part of Najd, and they still live. And actually, even at the time of Imam Ali, even in Banu Kalab, there were various tribes. So Jafar was there, Bani Tim was there, so there were others. They find a gentleman whose name was Hizam ibn Khalid. Hizam ibn Khalid himself is known for his nobility and bravery. His wife is called Layla, and they have got a young daughter called Fatima. And Aqil finds this family and finds this young lady and comes to them and proposes for his brother Ali. A simple wedding, but a wedding which went on to turn the history for us. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Look at it from Hizam ibn Khalid's mindset as well. He is giving his daughter to a person who is totally ostracized, totally left alone on the streets of Medina. And he's sending his daughter from Najd to Medina to live in his house. I mean, he must be a really brave father. Have we not heard that if somebody comes and asks for the daughter's hand, we always ask the question like, how much has he got? How much money has he? Has he got a house? Has he got a car? All Hizam ibn Khalid is getting, what Ali has, is the enmity of the caliph. And that is what he's marrying his daughter into. So let's pause here and look at what Ali is thinking. Risalatul Huquq, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, translation. It talks about the right of your spouse. And the right of your subject through matrimony is that you should know that God has made her a tranquility, a comfort, a companion, and a maintainer for you. It is incumbent upon each of you to thank God for the other and realize the other one is God's blessing for you. It is obligatory. It is obligatory to be a good companion for God's blessing and to honor her and treat her gently. So all the husbands are listening here. Hopefully they'll be kind to the wives. But then Imam also addresses wives. She must follow you in every matter that you like or detest. But then he addresses both of us. Except in acts of disobedience to God, she should enjoy the rights of mercy and intimacy, as she is made an object of tranquility for you. And these are coming, obviously, these are the rights told to us. Obviously, the commands in our Quran, Surah Rum, 30th chapter, verse number 21. And among his signs is this, that he created for you maids from among yourselves, and that you may dwell in tranquility with them. And he has put love and mercy, remember this word, love and mercy, between your hearts. Verily in that are signs for those who reflect. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So the words are love and mercy. So let's reflect, because that's a command to us. What are the words used in Quran itself? Surah Rum, Mawadda wa Rahma. And Mawadda is not just hub. Mawadda is a much more higher status than just hub or muhabbat. Not just love. It's one of the very highest forms of love. Remember, what did Holy Prophet say to us? What did he say? O Prophet, tell them I do not want any return or for your service except muwadda. That's in Quran. Muwadda towards your qurba. This is the command we take for muwadda, ayah muwaddat. And whenever we read it, we are reminded that it's not just the love. It's a huge of love and obedience and the knowledge of them which should come to you. This is what Allah is asking for us to have towards our spouses. And there is the famous hadith which goes, this is another interesting, nice one for us. The best of you are the ones who treat their, the word I will use in Arabic, ahli. The best of you are the ones who treat their ahl the best. And I'm the best of you towards my ahl. And ahl is a word which quite often is used for household. But if we go to old in Arabic, in tafasir, ulama write that if ahl is used just for in its own, it is usually your parallel, so your spouse. So it could be your family, but it could be your wife. Why am I reading all this? Because we exactly know what Ali knows. Way about these things more than us. So just think of that. Ali has brought in Ummul Baneen into his house. At this time, very well known as just Fatima. So brings her into the house. She married in Medina. But then the time passed. And soon after, within 7-8 years of their marriage, she moves to Kufa, 35 after Hijrah. Look at the calamity of that time. Because the 5 years of Imam Ali's caliphate, they are gone fighting Safin, fighting Jamal, fighting Nehrawan. In the end, he is mercilessly martyred. Ummul Baneen is with him. And she has got young children. By now, she has got 4 boys. And the 4 boys give her the title of Ummul Baneen, the mother of the sons. Abbas, Abdullah, Jafar, and Usman. 4 sons that she has. And she also has a daughter called Bibi Ruqayya. This is the family which now she has basically taken in herself, ingrained. And now what she is giving all of them is the love of Hussein and Zainab. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Let's again reflect on it. Ummul Baneen. So mother of sons. So are we really saying that within Arabia at that time, nobody else had 4 sons? Of course, there were lots of mothers who had 4. sons and sons. Why is this lady is so noble that we are calling her Ummul Baneen? That nobody else got it. If you look at every history, I can give you from my memory, and I'm sure you will remember, there were people who had 3, 4, 5, even more sons, 7 sons, 8 sons. They were never called Ummul Baneen. So the history suggests that there could be different reasons. One reason which is famously given, I'm sure you must have heard of that, is that because she was known as Fatima, it was to differentiate the Bibi lady Sayyidina Nisa al-Alameen from her. So that she is known now by the people of Medina as Ummul Baneen, so that the first one is obviously Sayyidina Nisa al-Alameen. But there are two other reasons in the literature you will find. One is that it is about 4 sons that she had who were well known in Medina as she was growing up. They were, you remember, in the Majalis we have heard that Abbas was a really tall man and he never needed a saddle to get on the foot part of the saddle to get on the back of the horse. He was so tall. So when he's like having that sort of stature, her sons were also very well known in Medina. But then there is another spiritual reasons for which is quoted by quite a lot of ulama. Ummul Baneen is the only one to give 4 sons in one day in the history for the sake of Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Salawat Allah, Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Muhammad wa ali. She, can you imagine what she would have gone through? Within one day, in the history, you will not pick up one mother who killed 4 sons in one day. And not just sons who were, obviously, for example, Imam Hassan's 3 sons fought in the battle. But these are the 4 sons from the same father and same mother, and who were killed all brutally. And look at Abbas. It would have been easy for him if he would have gone and just fought, wasn't it? We have talked about Abbas's bravery. We have talked about Abbas's loyalty. But can you think of Abbas's patience? How did he hold himself back when his younger brother would have come, I'm going. His baby brothers are coming and asking, we are going. How would you feel if your baby brother says, actually, I'm going to get killed? Is that okay with you? Abbas, actually, that was the heart of Abbas. We talk about the heart of Hussein, but every single one of them on that day had become a real follower of Hussein. So now let's move from there. This lady, in 40 after Hijrah, when Imam Ali is martyred, she moves back to Medina. And she comes back to Medina with the Caliph of Muawiyah, when his governors are appointed. And she's looking after the family. His children are little. Her children are little. And she's bringing them up and up and up. 10 years later, in 50 after Hijrah, she sees the demise of the martyrdom of Hassan. She loses the first son. It's not, so she's now seeing the time is coming nearer. Look at the heart of this mother. And 10 years later, she was one of those who hear that now Muawiyah has died. And Hussein is asking, it's time for us to leave Medina. Her son takes the reign of the whole caravan. And she's seeing that. And she stays behind with Salama to look after the rest of the family. And she is an anchor person. We talk about Salama a lot. But it's interesting because the books I have read, Ummul Baneen is mentioned, that she stayed behind and looked after them. Caravan leaves, goes to Karbala. The biggest atrocities of all time happens. She loses all the sons. She's staying behind. Let me talk about Abbas just in another sense. Many years down the line, Imam Jafar Sadiq, it is written that Imam Jafar Sadiq was sitting in Medina because he had, as we know, a large school where he used to teach people. And when he's sitting, an old man enters towards his students. The history writes, the books, Sheikh Suduq writes that he stands up for this man, old man, and then treats him very, very, with very honor. When he leaves, his students ask him, so who was this gentleman? And this is the very interesting point he says. He says he's either the son or grandson, both words are mentioned. Son of Abbas. And then he said, remember Abbas, my great uncle. And he doesn't say because he was loyal and he was a warrior, because he killed so many people. He said, remember Abbas. He was the faqih of his time. Let's pause here and think of it. How much being a faqih is important for this family. Remember, there was only one person Imam Hussein invited in Karbala. Who was that? Habib ibn Mazahir Asad. And what was how did the letter start? This is the letter from Hussein to Rujul Faqih, the man who is Faqih. Imam Hussein is not actually just taking anybody with him. And if talk about the Faqih, if Ibn Mazahir is Faqih, you can imagine how Abbas is the fiqh or the knowledge. And what is fiqh? We have discussed it before. The word fiqh is deep dive, not just superficial like we teach fiqh in the madrasa. Yeah, 4 rakats of salat and 3 rakats of maghrib. No, it's a deep dive which Abbas has done into the faith of Islam. We talk about that we talk about the scholars and warriors. But how do we know he was a big faqih? Because look at the Ashura day. This is the training of Ali and Ummul Baneen. Abbas stands there. And you know what? He actually, in the morning, he gets the alam, the standard, the flag. A very renowned Ayatollah, Allama Naqi al-Naqvi, famous as Allama Naqan. One of his speeches is just so remarkable of Abbas. He says that, we give titles to people, don't we? So for somebody is really, really brave, then we will say he's a brave like a tiger. Isn't it? So we always say. Why? Because all the world knows that a tiger will be brave. If somebody is very generous, we will think of Hatim Tai. We'll say he's generous like Hatim. And then he says something which is remarkable, and this is again a point of reflection, because we claim that we are the Shias of Hussein and Shias of Hyder Qarar. Abbas this is what we need to learn from Abbas, because you know what they said, can you remember this alam? So alam, the person who carries is called alamdar. And he says, how many battles Ali took the alam? Remember the Khaybar, the famous one, that tomorrow I will give the flag to the person who is the Qarrar Farar. And he gave the alam in Khandaq, and he gives the alam in Hunain. He says, but even now, if somebody is named Alamdar, we know that only for one day of Alamdari. That's what Abbas did. So today, if anybody is named Alamdar, we know exactly he's not named after, and he says, 1,000 apologies to Imam Ali. But we exactly know that his name is after Abbas for one day of that Alamdari. And then the day goes. The day goes and goes, and the trained by Ummul Baneen. This is the warrior who's standing there. And you know what he actually does all this time? He is letting everybody go to that field. All the friends are gone. All the companions are gone. Now his nephews are gone. He is always asking Imam Hussein, is it my time to go? And what did Imam Hussein say? Just simply say, but Abbas, you are the Alamdar. You are the flag bearer. And in the end, Abbas just gives. And what I would say, the one sentence which is for the rest of our lives is it's the worse than any masayib. He says, Maula, where is that army of whose I was Alamdar? Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. May Allah actually make us more and more loving of this family. May Allah make us understand this family and give us that love and this loyalty, and may Allah give us the energy to make them our role models. May Allah actually take us as near to Imams and like Al Abbas. And as usual, I will finish by the last part of Dua Kumail. Oh Allah, your pleasure is quickly achieved. Forgive us, as we own nothing but du'as. For you do what you will see fit. O Allah, your name is a remedy, and your remembrance is cure, and your obedience is wealth. Have mercy on us, who only have hope, and our weapon is tears. O Allah, you are ample in blessings. O the repeller of adversities. O the light of those who are lonely in darkness. O the one who can never be taught. Do with us what is really worthy of you. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Surah Mubarak al-Fatiha.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليك يا وارث آدم صفوة الله. السلام عليك يا وارث نوح نبي الله. السلام عليك يا وارث إبراهيم خليل الله. السلام عليك يا وارث موسى كليم الله. السلام عليك يا وارث عيسى روح الله. السلام عليك يا وارث محمد حبيب الله. السلام عليك يا وارث أمير المؤمنين ولي الله. السلام عليك يا ابن محمد المصطفى. السلام عليك يا ابن علي المرتضى. السلام عليك يا ابن فاطمة الزهراء. السلام عليك يا ابن خديجة الكبرى. السلام عليك يا ثار الله وابن ثاره والوتر الموتور. أشهد أنك قد أقمت الصلاة وآتيت الزكاة وأمرت بالمعروف ونحيت عن المنكر وأطعت الله ورسوله حتى أتاك اليقين. فلأن الله أمة قتلتك، ولأن الله أمة ظلمتك، ولأن الله أمة سميت بذلك فرضيت به. يا مولاي يا أبا عبد الله، أشهد أنك كنت نورا في الأسراب الشامخة والأرحام المتخرة، لم تنجسك الجاهلية بأنجاسها ولم تلبسك من مظلمات ثيابها. وأشهد أنك من دائم الدين وأركان المؤمنين. وأشهد أنك الإمام البر التقي الرزي الزقي الهادي المهدي. وأشهد أن الأئمة من ولد كلمة التقوى وآلام الهدى والأروة الوسطى والهجة ولا أحل الدنيا. وأشهد الله وملائكته وأنبياءه ورسوله أني بكم مؤمن وبيا بكم موقن بشرع ديني وخواتيم عملي وقلبي لقلبكم سلم وأمري لأمركم متبع. صلوات الله عليكم وعلى أرواحكم وعلى أجسادكم وعلى أجسامكم وعلى شاهدكم وعلى غائبكم وعلى ظاهركم وعلى باطنكم. السلام عليك يا ابن رسول الله. السلام عليك يا ابن أمير المؤمنين. السلام عليك يا ابن حسين الشهيد. السلام عليك أيها الشهيد وابن الشهيد. السلام عليك أيها المظلوم وابن المظلوم. لعن الله أمة قتلتك، ولعن الله أمة ظلمتك، ولعن الله أمة سميت بذلك فرضيت به. السلام عليكم يا أولياء الله وأحباء. السلام عليكم يا أسفياء الله ووداء. السلام عليكم يا أنصار دين الله. السلام عليكم يا أنصار رسول الله. السلام عليكم يا أنصار أمير المؤمنين. السلام عليكم يا أنصار فاطمة الزهراء سيدة النساء العالمين. السلام عليكم يا أنصار أبي محمد الحسن بن علي ولي الزقي الناصي. السلام عليكم يا أنصار أبي عبد الله بأبي أنتم وأمي تبتم وطابت الأرض التي فيها دفنتم وفزتم فوزا عظيما، فيا ليتني كنت معكم فأفوز معكم. السلام عليك يا أبا الفضل العباس ابن أمير المؤمنين. السلام عليك يا ابن سيد الوسيين. السلام عليك يا ابن أول القوم الإسلام وأقدم إيمان وأقومهم بدين الله وأحوتهم على الإسلام. أشهد لك أن نصحت لله ولرسوله ولأخيك فنعم الأخ المواسي. فلأن الله أمة قتلتك ولأن الله أمة ظلمتك ولعن الله أمة استخلت منك المهارم وانتهكت حرمة الإسلام. فنعم الصابر المجاهد المحامي الناصر والأخ الدافع عن أخيل مجيب إلى أتات ربه الراغب فيما زهد فيه غيره من الثواب الجزيل والثناء الجميل. والهكك الله بدرجة آبائك في جنات النعيم. السلام عليكم جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا غريب الغربة السلطان أبا الحسن علي بن موسى الرزا. كن شفيعنا شفيع والدينا في يوم الجزاء ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا مولانا يا صاحب الزمان. السلام عليك يا خليفة الرحمن. السلام عليك يا شريك القرآن. السلام عليك يا إمامنا وإمامنا الإنس والجان. عجل الله فرجا وسخر الله مخرجا وزهور ورحمة الله وبركاته. اللهم صل على محمد وآله. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم كن لوليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آله في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وكائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكن أرضك التوأ وتمتع فيها